Hey guys, Zomfox here, and with all the news regarding the USFL and XFL potential merger, one league that has kind of gone under the radar a bit, that has a lot of news that's been happening recently, is the Arena Football League. I did a video on this a while ago, back when it was first announced that it was coming back for the 2024 season. So let's get started and actually look at what the news has happened since that video's come out. So the first thing is in regard to the actual kickoff of the league. The kickoff is already announced. It is going to be March 2nd, 2024 at 2 p.m. There is a countdown to the official kickoff that's been on the site. And naturally, when you go from where we are right now, that would bring it to March 2nd, Saturday. So we already know when the kickoff is for this league. But as for the teams, this is something that has actually changed. So originally they released this image. This had 16 different either cities or states. And this was the 16 markets that were going to have Arena Football League teams. Now, what we originally thought was that they'd be announcing the actual teams for these, almost immediately. But some of these places, they actually had barely reached out to them in regards of getting a team there. So it's taken a lot longer. But we have gotten to the point now where we actually learned that it's going to be 20 teams instead of 16, which, yes, has happened a couple months later. And this was really announced during the time where a couple teams were fully announced, those being like the Outlaws, the West Texas Desert Hawks, the Orlando Predators, and all that. So, with that, we now have the idea that it's going to be 20 separate teams in this new league, with at least 3 of them being from the Champions Indoor Football League. Because, well, at the moment, we have 6 teams that are confirmed by the league, and honestly, by the time this video comes out, there might be another one because this has been happening really fast. The Albany Firebirds, Billings Outlaws, an Everett AFL team. We don't actually know the name of that team yet, but they are confirmed. The Orlando Predators, the Rapid City Marshals, and the West Texas Desert Hawks. Those 6 teams are fully confirmed, and naturally, none of those teams are even really that old. All of them are formed within the last 5 years. But once you get to the announced by individual team owners, we get to see that one team that if you're an Arena fan, you know and love to see back is the Philadelphia Soul. The Philadelphia Soul were one of those teams that eventually kind of became a cornerstone AFL franchise. They had been in the league since 2004. And sadly, unlike some other teams, once the league ended up going bankrupt back in 2019, they actually just were gone. And they are supposed to be making their triumphant return with the Arena Football League this upcoming season. This isn't confirmed yet, but this is a really cool thing if it does happen. Then the California Grizzlies, Minnesota Myth, and the Capital City Cyclones are also other teams that are announced by individual owners but aren't technically announced. To give us in total the current half of what the league should be, as we now have 10 teams that are either confirmed or announced. So it's overall pretty cool right now, but like I said, we still have a lot of teams we got to find out about for sure. But this is a good start. So some of the info regarding the league is, well, how much are players going to get paid? Well, we had one report a couple months ago, so I don't know how exactly true this is going to be. But Shady Sports Network talked about their sources close to the league, said that the AFL will be paying its players $10,000 for the regular season, and Texas squad players will get $300 a game. Now, apparently, it was going to. I'm pretty sure they said they were going to do a 10-game regular season. I don't know if that changes with them adding 4 new teams, but essentially that naturally means they'd be getting about $1,000 per game, and if they were to have a 2-round playoffs, they'd get $12,000 total and all that. That will be what the idea is, but naturally we don't know for sure yet, but we'll see. Now, as for the IFL, which is the current, juggernaut of indoor football, ever since the AFL went bankrupt, players in that league earn a much different scale. They get paid different amounts. But at least from what I can gather, now if any of you know anything else, please let me know in the comments. But from what I can gather, it seems that the max amount you can make is $9,450 in the season. That's the most. That's the most you can get. That's if you get $500 per game, and you get $25 bonus for every game you win. Now I don't know for sure there was a champion salary bonus. I couldn't find it, but like I said, if you find it, let me know. So you also do get housing for its players, which the AFL, we don't know that for sure, which that is a lot of money, as we noticed with the USFL CBA, because naturally, even though $10,000 per season is an amount, naturally it pales in comparison to what many people consider true spring football, that being like the USFL, which after their CBA made it to where your max salary was $74,000 while getting $26,000 per player benefits to make it to where truly you're getting about $100,000 for a season. And even at the low end, you'd still, even as an inactive player on the low end, you'd still be making over 25,000 a season. So naturally, just like it's always been, the Arena Football League is still going to be that like third tier level of pro football. You've got, the NFL, then you've got like the CFL, USFL, XFL, then you've got Arena Football. So that is something to note. Now, I will say I really do love the fact that the Arena Football League is coming back. I said that in that video that I really like that happening. It's just there's one issue. Look, the league has, if you look at their Wikipedia page, in the first paragraph, they mention the fact that the league has gone bankrupt twice. And if it wasn't for them having a minor league, they would have probably been totally screwed back in their first bankruptcy. So it's bankrupted twice, and now they're going to 20 teams, which is like the most this league has ever seen. And I get that they have individual owners, which is always great in terms of that money thing, and that's how a lot of teams are able to live even if the league falls. But I'm just very skeptical that this league is going to be truly successful, as you're paying more for your players than the other best leagues are, while having more teams in those other leagues, while also having the most teams your league has ever had. I don't know. I hope it succeeds. I'd love to see the Arena Football League succeed. And naturally, I really want to know how they end up, getting the game to the people, aside from, in their normal towns. I want to know if they get a TV deal or if they do, streaming their games on YouTube, if they do anything free or like that. I think that'd be really cool to see, and hopefully find news about that soon. So this has been Zob Fox. If you enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified as soon as I upload any videos. We still have to wait and see about the XFL USL merger, any news regarding the Arena Football League. Still have a couple videos covering the past USFL season, and we have the top 10 quarterbacks from the original USFL coming out. So be on the lookout for all that, and as always, have a great night.